Well, Dean, here we go with a Ask Us Anything. And we were amazed at the amount of questions that we got.
We were absolutely overwhelmed, weren't we, Norm?
And we just really want to thank each and every one of you for asking such nice, interesting questions. We have the best viewers, don't we, Teen?
We absolutely do, yeah.
Let's get to the first one, which is Linda Belknap asking us, how old are your kids and grandchildren, and do they live near you?
So we have two children in their 40s, and we have four grandchildren who are 18, 15, 13, and 6.
And we have a daughter living in Ottawa, and we have our son living in Southwest Ontario. On to the next one. Elizabeth Stone, do you live on a daily, weekly budget? Do you eat out often? Do you have hobbies? And the last, laugh out loud, at Christmas, do you have a budget and amount you spend on each child? Well, I'll take that. We have a monthly budget that's based around our old age pensions, and we stick to that unless we're travelling. We don't eat out often. Obviously, there's been a 2-year pandemic where we haven't eaten out at all. But we do support local restaurants with takeout, and that's probably every 4 to 6 weeks that we will have a restaurant prepared meal. Indian being our favorite cuisine that we would get. And hobbies, well, photography, YouTube.
Yeah, and I'd say bird watching.
Yeah, Tina does bird watching. She has a spotting scope for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sandra Bell asks, do you spend all your time together, or do you go out with friends separately? Did you retire at the same time?
Okay, so I'll take that one. We do spend most of the time together.
We do. We're joined at the hip.
If the time generally that I'll be on my own is when the pool is open, I will go swimming. And I really enjoy that, and it's great, and it gives Norm a break from me.
And if I get the car washed at the local car wash, Tina has a phobia about car washes, so I go on my own.
I don't like car washes.
But we spend 95% of our time together, and we love to do so.
We do. And if we go to visit friends, we generally go together, don't we?
We don't have separate friends.
No. And the other part of the question, yes, we both retired at the same time. We took early retirement, and we were 58 and 60.
Srinivas asked us, hope you're having a safe and happy winter. What inspired you to create a video channel talking about all things retirement? What insights about making videos more viewable have you learned along the way? Well, the credit has to go to Tina in many respects, because we had been to Portugal in 2018, had a wonderful time. We were just doing the stock photography and video clips, so we weren't really taking pictures of ourselves.
Right.
So we decided to go back in 2019 for the same period. And Tina suggested, why don't we film ourselves like a vlog? So we went and got a really cheap little vlogging camera off Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the description if you like. And that's what we did. We got a little selfie stick, and we decided, instead of doing stock photography in 2019 in Portugal, we would start to record our travels. So we would have them for posterity, for us to enjoy them on our TV when we got home. And should the inevitable happen and one of us is maybe left behind, if one passes away, then the other has these memories to rekindle their visions of who we were. We have learnt a wee bit more about making videos and making them more watchable. And the number one advice we would give is it's not the picture quality, it's the sound quality that's way more important. Mm-hmm. So that's why we invested in some nice microphones. So thanks for the question.
Well, this is a question from Niall, which is, what is Norm's favorite beer and how many does he have every day? Ooh, I think you better answer that one, Norm.
All right. Well, I tend to drink Heineken because it's available worldwide. Wherever you go in the world, you can get a Heineken. And I quite enjoy that sort of European lager, Pilsner. And I also enjoy Kilkenny, an Irish, British style bitter beer that has the little widget in the can. And how many do I have? Well, hardly any. I would have the odd one here and there. We have Yvonne Stewart.
Oh, Yvonne asked, how are we doing emotionally without the travel? And she's saying that she finds herself wondering when we will feel safe to do so. I think, you know something, it has been difficult. We will admit it emotionally. It is very difficult being stuck at home. The pandemic has really affected us because up until this, we traveled a lot and we really enjoyed it. So we are finding it a mental quite hard, I would say, being at home.
We're 2 years
Yeah.
into it, and
Yeah.
it is starting to weigh heavy on us.
Yes.
And I think we would regard it as being safe to travel when we're seeing the infections substantially reduced. They seem to be on the way down. We also want the Canadian government to stop with these expensive PCR tests
Yeah.
for us to either leave the country or come back. It's just, we're fully vaccinated, we've been boosted, and they still want us to have these incredibly expensive, like $150 US for us to get a test each.
Yeah.
And they're difficult to be able to book one. So
We're kind of waiting for that to be lifted, aren't we? And
We
waiting
are.
for the no non-essential travel. And once that happens, then maybe we'll feel safe
we'll
to
start
travel.
considering it.
Yes.
But thanks for that question.
was a
It is
great
important.
question.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of other people are feeling similarly. So Janice Gavitt, I'm planning to go to Portugal next January. Where in the Algarve region do you recommend? And is the weather warm then? Thank you. Well, weather is warm. It's not hot,
No,
but it's
it's very pleasant.
yeah. You'd need
Yeah.
a jacket for the evening or a warm sweater. Where we recommend, we went to Albufeira for the first 3 years
Yeah.
because it's geographically in the center of the Algarve, and we were traveling a lot to photograph and video all the places along the Algarve. So it made a great base camp for us. But if we were just there for strolling along the beach and relaxing and enjoying what Portugal has to offer, we might be going to places like Quarteira.
Yeah, and I was going to probably say Armacao de Pera is one of our favorites. Both very flat, aren't they?
They are. And if you don't mind going a little further west, there's Lagos,
Yeah.
which is a very popular town and lots of
So
English-speaking people there.
I would say probably those three.
Yeah.
Would be where we
To take a
would
look at
recommend-
it initially. But once you get there and you travel around, you'll find your own favorite place. Kathy Davis.
This is a great question. Kathy asks, I have heard that a difficult part of retirement is spending so much time together. And I guess Kathy is at the moment working, and she's wondering, as they only spend evenings and weekends together, how did we find it a difficult adjustment? The answer is no, we didn't. It was really strange. We decided to take early retirement, to move, to come down here, and honestly, we didn't find it difficult at all.
We've always enjoyed each
yeah.
other's companies. We regard ourselves as best friends as well as husband and wife.
Yeah.
But what happens in the early years of retirement is you get used to things.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, nothing is as big an obstacle as it seems once you're retired. Prior to that, everything looks different, fearful. It isn't. You'll get used to it. It'll be fine.
And you sort of get used to a new routine, and it's great.
CTS123. How did you two meet?
Ooh.
Well, that's an interesting question. We met at a camera club.
We did.
I was already a member, and one day Tina walked into one of the meetings, and I guess it was
I was
love
going
at
to.
first sight.
Oh, yeah. The minute I saw Norm, that was it for me. I was.
The long flowing hair.
I kind of went because I was interested in photography and a little bit of modeling too. And I kind of thought this would be a good way of doing both. And it was great. And that's where we met, wasn't it?
It was indeed. What are the top three things you would do differently if you could travel back to your early 40s? Wow, get a hair transplant?
I'll take this one,
Yeah, you
Norm.
do
I
that,
would
Tina.
say I don't think we would do anything differently.
Not really.
We made the decision to emigrate from the UK to Canada, and
I was 38 at the time, Tina was 36, and
yeah.
that was a huge adventure. So we would definitely do that again.
So when asked what we would do differently if we could travel back, I would say nothing.
No,
Wouldn't change anything.
we're very, very
Yeah.
happy with how it's all turned out. And
Yeah.
thanks for the question. Andy Marsh, did you miss anything from the UK? If you had to move back, would you miss anything from Canada?
Maybe you could take that one, Norm.
We don't really miss anything from the UK. There are a few nostalgic things that revolve around food or chocolate candies. But really, as the years go by, they're all becoming available in Canada. So we can get our Branston pickle now and stuff
Yeah,
like
things
that.
like that.
And if we were to move back to the UK, which I don't see us ever doing that,
No.
I would miss the pancakes and maple syrup.
I was going to say, I bet you were going to say pancakes, Norm.
But
And there's so much that we probably would miss, right? A very hard question to answer.
there would
that, I
be.
think.
But thanks
Good,
again.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a long one from
Oh.
Faye Gallagher.
Now, just reading, this is a great question. Faye asked very similar to what they've done, I guess, sort of mirrored what we've done in retiring. But Faye's question was basically if we had dual citizenship, how would her hubby's asking if we were to go to the UK, would we go in and out on a Canadian or a UK passport? To our knowledge, this is kind of frowned on now.
We should
right?
say that in the early days we had a British passport and a Canadian one. And so if we were going to the UK, we'd leave on the Canadian one and enter the UK on the UK one. We found out pretty much that's illegal to do
Yeah.
that.
So
we stopped doing that. And we,
So-
if it's a big lineup of non-UK citizens, then we just sit there or stand there with our Canadian passport.
So basically, we go in and out on a Canadian passport all the time.
And because we are so committed to Canada and we became citizens,
Yeah.
and the UK made renewing passports abroad about 15 years ago difficult.
Yeah.
You couldn't just go down to the embassy and put an application in. So we let our British passports expire. So we don't have any British ones anymore.
Right.
But great question,
It
Faith.
was a good question.
Jay Cabral. What one thing do you love about your wife?
Ooh.
I,
Better let you answer this one, no?
her personality of seeing the positive in pretty much everything and everybody. I think that's a great feature to have, whereas I'm a little more cynical maybe.
Thanks, Norm.
And
Ooh.
he has a follow-up question. So he's getting two bites of the cherry. Jay Cabral, are you a Leafs fan? Are you absolutely kidding? There's a story there. We came to Canada in 1992, just as the Ottawa Senators franchise was starting up. And I got to go to the second game of the Ottawa Senators in the Scotiabank Place, or whatever it was called in those days. And it was the Capital Cup against Washington. And to be honest with you, it's the first hockey game I'd ever seen. I got free tickets from an employer, and we've stuck with Ottawa. Vic Gill, what are your plans for anything left over when you pass? Belongings, assets? Well, like our parents, we'll leave it to our children.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plain
Yeah.
and simple as that. We're not trying to spend all our money before we pass. So there will be stuff left over, and it would just go to our children and grandchildren. So Flying Brian, that's a great name.
Yeah.
Besides each other, what's one thing you enjoy the most when you start your day? Any morning rituals, coffee, local paper perhaps? Hope all is well. Well, Tina gets tea in bed, courtesy of Norm.
Yeah, that's a great way to start the
That's
day.
pretty much a ritual, and just talking about YouTube and what have you, that has become a ritual for us. Just being aware of what's happening on our channel. So thanks for the question. Be free, be frugal. Do you still have close family in the UK, and do you plan in better times to holiday there? Teen?
So we no longer have any family in the UK,
No.
and with regard to, sure, we might go for the odd vacation over there.
Yep.
There are parts in Scotland where Norm was born that we love going to.
Yeah.
So yes, we might take the odd vacation, but no family left over there.
No. Jeffrey Espin, sorry about that. Have you made any attempt to learn Portuguese? Yes, we have.
Yeah.
And every time we try to speak it, we get criticised for it.
Yes, we do.
Thanks for the question. Yeah. Susan Kay has asked us, have you ever had any desire to retire in a warm state in the US? That would be wonderful too, but
yeah.
we can't retire to the US. It's extremely difficult for Canadians to go and live there. So
really the best, hey Norm, we can do is really 6 months here and 6 months somewhere warm, isn't it?
Yeah, we certainly love visiting the US. We love it as a country, and Americans are generous and welcoming. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we will spend at least a month or two in the US every year, somewhere sunny.
We like visiting, don't we?
We do. David Goodfellow, have you tried Madeira or other Portuguese islands?
Oh, yes.
Yes, we have. We have been to Madeira, and we've been to São Miguel and to Sierra. And we do have a bit of a bucket list that we would like to visit all of the 9 Azore Islands. We've done 2 so far. So, we just love traveling to some of the islands.
Leanne, and then we'll have...
Okay, you go.
Do you have any regrets on decisions you've made, or looking back, would we change anything differently? We'll be honest, absolutely no regrets on everything we've done.
We tend to have a life vision of looking forward, not backwards. There's nothing you can do to change the past.
No.
So we're just excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, we always see the positive, don't we?
Great question, though. Steve W., he came up with a really good question, and 2 other viewers endorsed that. So we just had to include this question, and it's about health insurance and what do we do outside of the provincial health plan for health insurance. And so we take a travel insurance that includes health and car rental insurance from the Bank of Montreal's MasterCard, and we pay extra for that. And it allows us to travel for 30 days at any one time. It's also good for travel in Canada, so if we have interprovincial health expenses, it'll cover that as well. And then we self-insure for our dental treatments. We pay out of our savings for that.
Seems to work really well, doesn't it?
It does, Tina, yeah.
So we had a question from Jamie about they're looking to downsize from their home to a town home. And one of the questions was, she's worried that would the grown-up children and the grandchildren, that they wouldn't have their home to come back to. Well, in reality, it's kind of not like that, is it, Norm?
We didn't find it that, no.
What we realized was that as our grown children moved into their own homes, that they actually want you as their parents and grandparents to actually come to their homes to enjoy their new traditions.
Just like you
yeah,
did when you set off as a married couple.
yeah,
You had children and obviously you had these really nice get-togethers. Well, your children are going to want to do that at some point.
yeah,
The other thing that we were talking about with this question was if you didn't feel as though you had enough room to put everybody up, you can always pay for hotel rooms. And we even went out and got a really nice air mattress that we have had family sleep on that when all the beds are full. We bring
yeah.
that out and it's worked great.
Yeah, we've managed really well, haven't we? But if we get to complete overflowing, booking
And
local hotels.
those family stays where we've had the air mattress have been some of the best fun that we've had. It's been casual and...
It's been great, hasn't it? Because everybody mucks in and it's really nice.
So don't be afraid, Jamie, about downsizing. Your kids
No.
are going to carry the weight
Yeah.
And it'll be fine. So, Rob and Ted, Ireland. And they're worried about the off-season in Portugal and they're asking us, do we feel safe there? What do you think, Teen?
We feel extremely safe in Portugal. It's actually rated as number 3 as one of the safest places to be. And because we go in the off season, everybody's similar in age to us, aren't they? And everybody's really nice. And we've never had any concerns, have we?
And Albufeira
no.
isn't a ghost town in the winter. There's a sizable population of local residents, plus the influx of all us oldies who are...
coming for winter sunshine, aren't we?
That's right. So don't be afraid of
No.
going to Portugal. We certainly aren't in the off-season. So, working outside the box. What are they asking, Teen?
This is a really interesting question. Would we be full-time RVers in Europe or the States or somewhere? And we could pretty much answer this really quickly, couldn't we, Norm?
We could.
The answer is no. That's not for us. We have really found our sort of thing, haven't we?
We're very happy with what we do.
Yeah. And this works really well for us. 6 months here and then traveling over the other 6 months.
And we like to have a home to come home to.
Yeah.
It's just relaxing. So no, it's not for us, but it sounds very exciting for the right person.
Right.
So who couldn't love Lumpy Gravy? What a great name that is. Lumpy Gravy 52. Asking us, do we collect things? What do you think, Teen?
Well, I would say that Norm definitely collects way more things than I do.
I'm a hoarder.
Norm collects everything from cameras to when you were younger, you did stamps and coins, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm just a new collector, I guess. So I've started just collecting pebbles from places that we've been going on vacation. My latest ones were at Kincardine. I picked the pebbles or stones off the beach, and some of them are beautifully polished with coloured glass in. So I've started a small collection of those.
We should say that Tina only takes one.
Yeah, I don't.
We're not clearing the beach.
No. So that's my small collection.
And they are very beautiful as well.
They are.
So that really brings us to the end of our question session.
Yes.
We were honestly shocked. Bet you've never heard that expression from us before. We were shocked by the number of questions that we got. It's well over 110.
Yeah.
And there's just no way that we could include them all in one video. So depending on how this video is received by you, the YouTube audience, we will do a follow-up with more questions in the not too distant future. So in the meantime, we hope everybody is keeping well.
And staying safe.
And until the next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.